Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Caravan of Garbage, where due to popular demand, in this series that is supposed to be tanking the algorithm...
Oh, yes.
People said more Michael Crichton movies. Can you do one more Michael Crichton movie? Can you make it a dull one?
Have we been tanking the algorithm correctly, though?
Seems... Oh, maybe we're not.
Yeah, right?
Maybe we should say some of those words we shouldn't say.
But that'll only make us more popular in certain circles. We can't lose, James. We're riding a high and we'll never get off the high.
Completely agree.
Yeah, but then we watched The 13th Warrior.
Man, please leave a like for The 13th Warrior. This is based on the Michael Crichton story Eaters of the Dead.
Which itself is a rip-off of Beowulf. It's a damn rip-off is what it is.
He's admitted that himself, yeah. It's a rip-off of Beowulf and the retelling of whatever Antonio Banderas' character in this, the guy he was loosely based off. Puss in Boots, yes. It's also a bit Seven Samurai, bit of that kind of thrown in there.
It's Seven Samurai and the Magnificent Seven if none of the seven are particularly memorable. And there's 13 of them, so it's really hard to keep track of which blonde or red-headed man is in the frame at any given moment. This is on Disney Plus in Australia, and the description says, a band of warriors are being attacked by ferocious creatures. Present tense. But it's set in the past, James. It's not happening now.
Yeah.
It's happening ages ago. 1999 is when it happened.
And you might think, wow, what kind of sci-fi/fantasy element has Michael Crichton worked into this particular story? Because that's a thing he always does. What has he done?
Nothing.
No, it's just straight up.
Just some guys. And nothing happens for 38 minutes. Spoiler alert. I was checking the time codes. They're just standing around. You know how they say in Hollywood, start with a big bang.
Yeah.
Start with a big action sequence. Start with Trinity being pursued by the police and Agent Smith. And then she does the big kick and then she jumps across the rooftop.
Yep.
And she gets away on the phone.
She goes, I'm on the phone.
None of that happens in this at all, ever.
It's hardly any phones.
It's just like, hello, I'm Antonio Banderas, and then I slept with the king's wife or something.
I looked at the wrong woman. She had eyeliner on. I had eyeliner on, and we locked eyes.
Because of the eyeliner, I presume.
Eyeliner, yeah.
Probably because of eyeliner particles. Then the king kicked me out or something.
Yeah.
So then I just walked around. And then I saw these other guys, and I'm like...
this is the famous part of the Michael Crichton videos where we have to tell you what the story is because nobody would know.
Yeah. Unless you've seen or read Beowulf, I guess.
True.
And then he's like, well, he gets exiled, and then he's just wandering around.
Got off pretty light, by the way.
Yeah.
For kissing the king's wife or whatever he did. Yeah.
Yeah, he probably missed over in the big book of laws. He probably skipped over executed and went straight to exiled.
All right.
And then half an hour later, the king's like, oh, damn it.
He's gone, is he?
Yeah.
Can we get him back?
Because I'll move up to... Oh.
He took the only horse. Why do we only have one horse?
Why is it so little? The Vikings will make fun of us. And they do.
It looks regular size to me.
Yeah, I thought so as well. But anyway, he just wanders around for a bit, and then him and his mate meet some Vikings. He hangs out with the Vikings for a bit, and then this lady does a prophecy, and they're like, you gotta...
I guess this is the supernatural element to it.
I guess.
Sort of, not really.
No.
Just roll some bones and be like, you're coming.
The best part of the fantasy element was they're like, you're going to summon the fire serpent. There's going to be a fire serpent. You mean a dragon? Yeah, there's a dragon. There's no dragon.
There's a lot of guys.
There's a lot of guys, I guess.
You're going to summon a lot of guys.
There's some guys. These men are half men and half beasts. They're not.
They're just men, and they killed a lot of bears, it turns out.
Yeah.
Because they're all in a bear costume?
They're all in one bear costume. But anyway, they meet the Vikings.
Where'd they get all the bear costumes
I don't know,
from?
but anyway, the lady's the prophecy. She's like, you're gonna go across the lands, and you gotta stop this evil. But it's got to be 13 of you, and there's only 12 of these guys, and the last guy that's can't be a Norseman.
Yeah,
it's got to be the 13th warrior. You're the 13th warrior, Antonio Banderas, and he's like, nuts.
Oh God, come on,
spit.
So yeah, he's I guess what's interesting about this is
nothing.
He's a Muslim Arab.
Sure.
And they cast Antonio Banderas because it's like, oh, he's tan.
Sure.
We can get away with this, right?
He's swarthy.
And this is off the back of Zorro and Desperado, so, he's a biggish name.
I guess he's a biggish name.
Name.
I guess Prince of Persia was operating off 13th Warrior rules.
Absolutely.
Swarthy.
Yeah. But I think what is interesting about this, it does depict a devout Muslim as a hero, which at the time was very unusual. I mean, then 9/11 happened and we wouldn't see that for a while, if ever.
Yes.
I should say in a US film, by the way.
And I would say that's nice, but maybe do that in a movie that's interesting.
That is interesting. Well, this nearly got off the ground in the late 70s. Michael Crichton was going to direct it, but it stalled.
Okay.
And eventually it fell to John McTiernan, famous director, Predator, Die Hard, The Hunt for Red October, Die Hard 3, which might be the best Die Hard.
Maybe.
I think it's good. The Thomas Crown Affair remake. This is one of his last movies, but it's not the last one, and it's not the movie that put John McTiernan in jail. Would you like to talk about that at the end of the video?
Direct to jail or real jail?
Real actual jail.
Oh no! I've forgotten the details of whatever this is, but I'm sure it'll come back to me.
So this was filmed in 1997. It tested really poorly, so Michael Crichton took over, and then there was this kind of director clash.
Sure.
So certain elements were changed, the ending, etc. A new score was added.
McTiernan's like, we don't need a score. And Michael Crichton's like, all my books have a score.
Put it in.
Put it in if you wouldn't mind.
So they end up bringing in Jerry Goldsmith to make it kind of more bombastic.
He knows what's up.
Yeah, and I think there is some good stuff in this. I know it is kind of boring and nothing, and it's supposed to be this epic sweeping tale, but it's not really, but it's kind of got a cult following, but it did really badly at the time and everybody hated it. Also, it came out in 1999.
What's your point?
Well, I'm just saying The Matrix, Fight Club, Sixth Sense, Phantom Menace, Galaxy Quest. This movie disappeared almost immediately.
Yeah, because it's worse than most of those.
Which one isn't it?
Phantom Menace.
I mean, I would say Antonio Banderas' stunt rider is incredible, and you can see him.
That's
you
true.
can see him on that horse. Yeah.
I guess it was also nice to see Antonio Banderas sort of playing against type.
Yeah.
Because he's kind of a nerd in this,
Kind
you
of
know
a
what I
nerd.
mean? And I'm like, can he carry this off? Then he's like, I'm a nerd, but I've also got a fancy sword.
He does have a fancy sword.
That's fun.
And they're like, nice, fancy sword, you stupid idiot.
That's right.
That I like it.
You stupid girl, that's a girl sword
They
for
do
girls.
say that to him, it's a girl sword. I think here's something it does interestingly, because he doesn't speak the native language.
That's true.
Whatever it is in this. I don't think it's accurate. It's not important. It's a Michael Crichton movie. So he doesn't know their language initially, and it shows like a montage of him learning their language, and you see
that's
him
what you want.
picking
That's
up
what
bits
you
and
want.
pieces.
That's what you want in a movie, an action montage of a man slowly learning a language.
I thought it was really interesting. And I think John McTiernan, he's done this a couple of ways, which I think works. There's this, and then in The Hunt for Red October, it does a similar thing where it switches languages at the start.
That's true.
So I think it's just better than everybody just speaking English without kind of any explanation. I want a compilation and a montage
Okay.
of a man learning a language.
Sure.
And then everybody speaking in English. I think that's okay, don't you think?
That's okay.
Don't you think?
I guess I do think that that's okay. It's certainly not illegal, so clearly this isn't the movie that put John McTiernan in real jail.
So the villains in this, as mentioned, it's not specifically said in this who they are, but in the book, they're descendants of Neanderthals.
Oh, I've got to read some supplemental materials, do I?
You read the book like me. We both read the book.
I didn't read the book. I'll never read a book. After this, I'll never read another one. I'll never read a book again at all, forever.
For the first time.
For the first time. I won't be doing that, no. This has soured me on books. Well done, John McTiernan and Michael Crichton, R.I.P., and Antonio Banderas, voice of Puss in Boots. You've done it. This is on you. Look what you've made me do.
They don't care if you're illiterate.
I know. I know. I'm just having a bit of a sook.
Yeah, I can see that. I think
Meh.
I think it is interesting initially how they depict the villains, because there is a supernatural element.
Interesting initially, yes.
Yeah, because the first time they attack, and they think they kill a lot of them.
Yeah.
And then when the smoke clears, there's no bodies. So they're clearly dragging their bodies away, probably to eat or have sex with or whatever.
Oh, I should say, at the 38, when I said there's no action until 38 minutes in, at the 38-minute mark, a man gets his head pulled off. So I guess that's kind of
I
fun.
mean, that's pretty good, isn't it?
That's pretty good, but then nothing interesting happens for the rest of the movie. And at the hour mark, Antonio Banderas is just like, these are just men. These are just men, by the way.
These are just men and I'm bored.
And I can tell the audience is bored also. And then he pointedly looks at the camera.
Wow.
Yeah,
Powerful stuff.
it is powerful.
There is also a moment where they follow them back to the cave, because they're like, where could these men be from? They're just regular men, but they dress as bears. Where do bears live? They live in caves. Let's go to the caves.
Then they're always stealing picnic baskets. Let's leave out a picnic basket.
Let's leave out 3 bowls of porridge
That's right.
of varying degrees of heat, and wait till they fall asleep, and then we stab them.
That's right.
Yeah, so it kind of goes a bit Die Hard, where the Vikings infiltrate their home base, a cave, just to stab a bunch of them.
Sure.
And I think that's good. I think that's a good tense sequence, and there's a fun underwater escape.
Oh, you'd like that, would you? For people to come into your house and stab you to death while
No,
you're asleep?
well, I'm not.
It seems like you're endorsing that.
I'm not out in the
It
world.
seems like you're endorsing your own death by a stabbing.
I'm not in the world threatening people in a bear costume eating stuff.
Yes, you are.
I've done that. I used to.
Right.
But I'm an older man now.
Sure,
And my
okay.
knees can't hack it anymore.
That's true.
Yeah.
You've had your fill of picnic baskets.
And the police took my bear costume.
That's true, they did.
But there's also a sweet beheading in there, because they find the leader of the tribe. and they have a showdown, and she's got a little poisoned spike, a bone, a bear claw probably, and he's got a big sword. Dude, you should have wrapped that up way quicker than what you did. You shouldn't have let that woman poison you. What are you doing?
It's like that time James Bond had to fight that weedy little guy in the exploding hotel. You remember that?
Oh, yeah.
They had to give him a club or whatever.
An axe or a club.
Something like that, you
in
know?
the exploding hotel.
Yeah, what a sad finale. Wrap it up, Bond. Come on, man.
Well, he wrapped it up eventually. He gave him a can of oil to drink.
And wrapping it up isn't his standard procedure, if you know what I mean.
Well, he did have that kid. But I think what the problem is this movie, other than all the things that you've said, movie that you hate, is that there's then a final battle at the very, very end. And it's just kind of like, oh, okay, just 10 minutes of just, oh, there's a little battle. And then they're like, oh, they're leaving. And we did it. We did it.
We did it.
And I think that's good.
Good job, everyone. Good work, however many warriors are left.
Oh, yeah, I have no idea.
See?
Yeah.
There's no way to know.
No.
This is an Ocean's 13 situation where it's a bunch of cool, big A-list stars and some character actors and some guys who've very much been cancelled now.
Yeah,
who you
that's
know
true.
all of them.
Yeah,
and you
it's a
remember
good
which
point.
ones have been cancelled. It's just some guys. It's too many warriors. It should have been the 7 warriors.
Yeah.
Or the 6 warriors. Or the famous 5, or the Fantastic 4, or
3 blokes.
3 blokes. Thank you.
You didn't feel something when one of the main guys, he got poisoned and he went out in a big battle?
I didn't feel anything.
And then they lit a boat on fire and they went, you're a warrior. And then Antonio Banderas went, I guess I'm going home, which I can, even though I did that thing at home. But I'm a poet.
Pretty good.
He puts his hat on.
I know. It's a little hat. I'm aware.
Yeah. Do you know what it's time for, though?
What's it time for?
It's time for the 13th War Trivia section of the show.
Here we go.
This is the trivia section of the show where we go, wow, got enough trivia for me, James?
Do you?
I do, actually.
Oh, I
I've
bet.
got 3 trivias. McTiernan has gone on record defending the film, stating that the finished product was not entirely different from what he'd shot, stating that he originally wanted to make the film with Michael Keaton in mind for the lead role. He's swarthy, isn't he?
Okay. Sure it didn't mean Michael Crichton as the lead role?
He said Michael Crichton for the lead role. Yes, you're correct.
Terrific.
He wanted Michael Crichton. Because Michael Crichton, they clash on a bunch of stuff, including the score. And you know the bit where he does fight the leader of the cave people or
Leader
whatever.
of the pack, yes.
Yeah, the woman or whatever. It was, I think McTiernan wanted like a sexier lady and Crichton wanted like a crone.
A crone, sure,
Like
sure,
in the
sure.
book. And they've kind of, it's somewhere in the middle, I guess.
Somewhere-
A
Sure.
sexy crone.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know if that's even accurate, but
Okay.
it kind of becomes neither.
Let's pass that on to the actor that played that role
Yeah.
and say, hey, it's good to know you're somewhere in the middle of it, between being a sexy lady and a crone.
Hey, that's what they said.
Hmm.
One of the Viking ships used in the movie is now in the Norwegian pavilion in Epcot, Walt Disney World, and it's a playground for kids.
Pretty good.
Probably washed all the fake blood out of it, I assume.
Kick some heads around.
Kick
yeah.
some heads around, yeah, and that's fun.
That is fun.
And look, I know we mentioned it, but people said this was bad, including Omar Sharif. Of course, he's the friend of Antonio Banderas in this, and he was famously in Lawrence of Arabia.
That's right.
Incredible Egyptian actor, incredible body of work. Didn't like this movie. Here's a quote.
I agree with Meso. I agree with everything he said.
I said to myself, let's stop this nonsense. These meal tickets that we do because it pays well. I thought, unless I find a stupendous film that I love and that makes me want to leave home to do, I will stop. Bad pictures are very humiliating. I was really sick. It was terrifying to have to do dialogue from bad scripts, to face a director who does not know what he is doing, which I guess could be Crichton or McTiernan?
Maybe.
Yeah. In a film so bad that it's not even worth exploring.
Damn.
That's a dig on us, because we're exploring it.
Oh no! And I agree with you, Omar Sharif. Why aren't you backing me, bro?
I don't know, man.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
I don't think he retired for that long, honestly. I think he came back like 3 or 4 years
later.
later.
Yeah, he did. He did come back. But yeah, this certainly, this benched him for a little bit.
Yeah, right.
But the box office for this, on a budget, it started at 85 million and it blew out to about 100 with reshoots and everything. And it's rumored that it got to about $160 million, including promo. This was one of the biggest bombs of all time because it made $61.7 million. Went up against The Sixth Sense in the box office. I have no memory of this coming out. This was like the year where I was like, movies are incredible and movies will be incredible forever.
Right.
Just like the year 1999. It's not true, it didn't happen. But yeah, I do remember this even coming out.
Maybe I remember the poster.
With the sword and the whatever.
The sword and the whatever. I think that's a
Yeah.
very memorable poster. I'm sure it was probably in a comic book, like back page of a comic book ad
Yeah.
or something like that. But I did not see this at the time. No.
Yeah.
No.
Well, thank God we're making up for lost time now.
Right.
Even if Omar Sharif says that it's not even worth exploring.
Come on, bro.
And he says, and you're an idiot. But it says James.
Oh, okay, that's all right then.
To get back to John McTiernan.
Oh, no. Are we going to make a John McTier list of all the bad things he's done?
It's not as bad as you think. It's not great,
okay,
but it's not as bad as you think.
Can we put the tier list up anyway and it's only got the one thing in it? We
Sure.
can put it on the John McTier
Well, there's
list.
two things.
Okay.
Okay, so during the making of Rollerball, if you recall...
What era was this?
He did the 2002 remake. I think Chris...
Farley.
No.
Tucker.
No.
Penn?
American Pie. Klein.
Chris Klein, sure.
It's got Chris Klein, Jean Reno, LL Cool J, Rebecca Romaine. Oh, what a cast. What a cast, Mason. What a cast. During the making of that, he was clashing with producer Charles Roven, famous movie producer. And he was like, I want to know what's going on, what Charles Roven's intentions are, because he's saying things to me, but I'm hearing other things. I know what I'll do. I'll hire famous Hollywood fixer Anthony Pellicano, who did a stint in prison for a bunch of reasons, but he was known for threatening, vandalizing, wiretapping, possessing homemade bombs and military-grade C4 plastic explosives, racketeering, conspiracy, witness tampering, identity theft, and destruction of evidence.
Interesting.
Okay? So he went to this man.
One of Hollywood's most colourful characters.
It would seem. And he basically, for help, to try to figure out what's going on.
I need you to kill Chris Klein. Or his career, at least. Can you make that happen? I'll try.
Easy. The FBI spoke to McTiernan about these dealings, including, did you speak to Pellicano about wiretapping Roven's phone? And he was like, I would never and I can't. And I don't. But evidence came to light that they did have a conversation and he did wiretap his phone.
Interesting.
Right? So that... along with then further evidence that it also got him to wiretap his ex-wife in the process of their
This guy's freaking obsessed.
divorce proceedings.
Yeah.
So it came out that he was in trouble on 2 counts. One, lying to the FBI, which you can do, but you just got to get away with it, just to clarify.
Yeah.
You just got to know what you're doing.
Fun little Easter egg. We lie to the FBI at least once in each of these videos. See if you can spot it.
And the second being that he was coached by his attorney along the process of figuring out what had gone on.
Okay.
Anyway, this went on for years and he ended up getting a 12-month sentence starting in April 2013, which he served 328 days for. He filed for bankruptcy in October of 2013, which again, like... this is crazy because he was one of the biggest directors. Like,
I had no
in
idea
Hollywood.
about this.
Yeah, it's wild, right? But that being said, him coming out of it, he did a lot of personal reflection and he was like, I'm actually very critical of the prison system.
Sure.
And you might be like, yeah, because you went to jail for wiretapping, which you almost certainly did. But no, he basically said, speaking to people in there, to the inmates, and even though...
they didn't like it either.
They didn't like it. But even though it was a minimum security prison, he was like,
this is nice.
Yeah, he was like, this system is just an extension of the Jim Crow era. It's just been repackaged as the modern American prison industrial complex. So, you know, I guess from that perspective, yeah, that's a good thing that he, you know, was able to see. And I guess bring light to, even though nobody apparently knows about this. But yeah.
Wow. Well, given all that, I say C tier. All right. Pretty all right.
Yeah, there are worse people doing worse stuff in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's everything.
Wow.
Well, that's some of the Michael Crichton adaptations. Maybe we'll come back to these at some point.
I don't wanna.
Nah, there's more to do,
New
Mason.
ones, though. Not back to this again, because I can't watch this again. Your wording was unclear, and I just want to nail this down. We're not going to come back to these movies again, correct?
I mean, you know, it's not...
Come on, man!
Look, I'll say this. If you do want to see these videos early, you can. You just got to head over to bigsandwich.co, and you're not going to believe what we're doing over the next 3 weeks.
What?
We're taking a look at 3 different unique Superman properties in the lead up to the new movies.
Oh.
Genre-defining different iterations of the character.
Superman 1, Superman 2, Superman 3.
We already did all those movies, Mason.
We could do them again, according to your rules.
These are you're the one who's scared and pooping your pants about doing stuff again. I never said we're doing stuff again. Stop pooping your pants.
I never said I was scared and pooping my pants.
Stop pooping your pants and then lying to the FBI that you didn't poop your pants.
No.
There's a little Easter egg
No,
for you.
I'll always lie to the FBI about that.
Also at bigsandwich.co, that's not the only thing that goes up there. We do video game Let's Plays. We, of course, looked at the Jurassic Park arcade game.
Of course.
My God.
We bought the cabinet.
Yep.
$22,000 it cost us.
Worth it.
Yep.
We also have bonus podcasts. We do movie commentaries. We actually also have a podcast called The Weekly Planet where we talk movies and comics and TV shows. That's on its own YouTube channel. It's on Spotify. It's on Apple if you do want to check it out. It's a bit of fun, isn't it?
It's so much fun.
We talk the movie and TV show news of the week and then whatever's out, whatever's going on.
That's right. Whatever crap's out at the cinema.
Yeah, new Jurassic World, etc. and so forth.
Yeah.
All right, thank you so much for watching, everybody.
Grab that gem, you guys. We'll see you next week.
And thanks to Ben and Lawrence for the edits.
Thank you, Ben and Lawrence.
How are they doing it?
Computers.
They've got computers.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think they're cutting apart.
They've got computers.
Cutting apart film reels with that little
doubt it.
Stanley knife or whatever.
I doubt it.
Yeah, doubt it.